Tuesday NHL picks on PuckTime, WagerTalk TV. Andrew, Carmine, Buster, and Brian Leonard look forward to breaking things down. It's an 11-game slate in the NHL here tonight. Some decent games last night. Hopefully we have even better ones tonight. Sides, totals, props, play of the day, same game parlay. Although it might be just a bunch of goal scorers I like for tonight. We're going to get some breakdowns, and we're going to have a great show. Carm, good morning, brother. How are you?
I am fantastic, man. I went to sleep before my games even started. I had 4% best bets in the NHL. I was just so tired, and I went to sleep, and they were like rocking chair winners. So off a bad Sunday, I'm happy to have a good Monday. We ended up going 4-0 across all sports. A couple soccer winners, a couple NHL winners.
Awesome.
And it's $5 Tuesdays at WagerTalk. So a ton of cappers have plays on today, including he wanted to be on the show, and I told him, no, boys, the Prez, he's got a 4% play up. You can find it over at WagerTalk. He's on a good roll himself as well, too, with these 4% plays. And he seems to be sending me messages right now, Andrew, in Slack. So hopefully he's watching the show at the very least. If you are, hit the like button, Prez. We got Don Buster coming in. He's going to do Ottawa and Edmonton. Brian Leonard, Vegas and Buffalo. And Brian's going to hang out a little while longer and talk about the Tampa Bay and Minnesota game as well, Andrew, because I've been having some power issues here. The power went out. Wi-Fi came back on. And just in case it goes out, we got Brian Leonard hanging out, and he can finish the show with you. Colorado and Anaheim. Colorado on a back-to-back against a very hot Ducks team. And then the same game parlay, Andrew, as you mentioned, some player props. The pod was a push yesterday with that Detroit game, finishing 4-2. I've got a pod play for today. It cannot end in a push. I can tell you that much. And then we'll close the show out. But with that said, man, how you doing, Andrew?
Yeah, for me, Carm, I tweeted out the Simpsons chalkboard meme with Bart Simpson. I will not bet on the Leafs again. It was a one-and-one day for me yesterday. But if I want to stay positive, we hit the big one. We hit the 4% play. How often are we going to be able to hit a play at 2 p.m. Eastern on a Monday? And I had the Detroit Red Wings to start the day off for a 4%, but I did have the Maple Leafs for a 3% play. So that's a little bit tough, 1-1. But I can't believe I put my faith in that team. I thought it was a buy low spot against the Flyers. I got a 4% play at WagerTalk for just $5. It's a total play, and looking forward to it tonight. And we got a side play being loaded after the show.
It did seem like probably the right spot for the Leafs, but the Flyers are playing some tough hockey right now. They may not be getting the results, but they seem to be in every game that they play right now. And it's just, it's a testament to a guy like Rick Tocchet and bringing out the best in his team as far as competitiveness. They are being, they just seem to be in every game. That was a good one yesterday between those two. It's not the days of the Broad Street Bullies with the Flyers, but I enjoy teams that, to use a horse racing term, have not spit the bit, Andrew. And if you're not familiar with that, sometimes these horses are racing crazy until the top of the stretch, and then they just slow down, and we call it spit the bit, where I've had enough. And it seems the Toronto Maple Leafs have spit the bit. Guys, you know me, man. I am so saddened by what is happening in Toronto with the Maple Leafs. It's heartbreaking to see Costco with a sale on get 4 Leaf jerseys for the price of 1. But hence, this is where we are. So with that said, Andrew, we should bring in, I think this guy is a closet. He's got to be a closet Maple Leaf fan. Let's bring in the one and only Don Buster.
Buster, our Habs, man, our Habs. They're taking over. They're taking over.
I tell you, they're looking good. Looking forward to the game tonight in San Jose. And Carmine, I know your brother has horses, and I know you're a big horse fan, but I like to because it happens to me all the time. Once, to get to that, they may need a half furlong because I bet the thoroughbreds. I call it hitting the wall. A team is just hit the wall. So that's what I like to say. They hit the wall, and the Leafs definitely have hit the wall, and it's quite nice to have.
Buster, I've talked about this horse racing story once, and I'll end it with this. We have a guy in our chat group. This guy's an absolute mush. We've known him since the days of high school. We went to Fort Erie, stopped at Fort Erie racetrack on the way to a hockey tournament in Welland, Ontario, and a hockey tournament. And we stopped at Fort Erie, and this guy bets a triactor. For those in the States, you guys call it a trifecta, where you have to pick the first 3 finishers in a race. This guy is such bad luck that the gates open, his jockey falls off the horse, one of the horses. The other 2 horses are first and second, or second and third. And at the top of the stretch, his second horse just falls on the ground. It died of a heart attack. And the other horse that he had fell over it. So all 3 of his horses failed to finish in the race. You want to talk about mushes? That guy's a mush. Wow. I never send him my plays. I never let him know what I have. We have a separate group, but that is a mush.
I don't blame you.
So, Buster, with that said, while Andrew grabs a coffee or whatever he's doing right now, you are going to talk about, and then we got a great deal for you as well, too, the Edmonton Oilers. Oh, there he is. Too many Habs fans on the screen. The Edmonton Oilers versus the Ottawa Senators. Edmonton minus 130, Ottawa plus 110. The total sits here at 6.5. My friend, how are you breaking this one down?
Yeah, should be a great game in Edmonton tonight. Ottawa will be playing their second game of a 5-game road trip. And I actually like the fact they have not played since Saturday after beating up the hated Maple Leafs. Just wanted to throw that in there, Carmine. Edmonton have really struggled on defense. There's no doubt about that. And they came out of the Olympic break. They've gone 1-2 out of the Olympic break. Back before, though, you want to just go a little farther. The Oilers are on a 1-5 run. So they have not been playing good before the break and now even after the break. Now, you guys know this just as well as I. If somebody come and told you at the beginning of the year, maybe had the book from the Back to the Future and said, you know what, Edmonton's going to struggle to make the playoffs this year, and the Leafs probably won't make the playoffs, you'd be like, yeah, I don't have that on my bingo card. That's for sure. So that just goes to show you, and I talked about it probably right early in the year, the parity in this league is getting more and more all the time. That's just the way it is. It really is. So this is going to be their first home for Edmonton. And, although they had that 3-game road trip, it's going to be their first home, but they've been off since Saturday. So I'm not sure how much that plays into this right here. But how have things changed for the Oilers? They played Ottawa earlier in the year. That line in Ottawa was minus 135. And now we're sitting at the same line basically here, but in Edmonton. So that tells you a little bit of something of how things are going. I actually like Ottawa in this spot, but Edmonton do play a much better game at home. There's no doubt about that. I think just getting too small of a price to bet Ottawa here because it's coming down. I don't know. I just think it's just a little bit too small a price, especially when I believe the better play here is the over 6.5. Ottawa has been playing more defense. There's defensive games. There's no doubt about that. That's been happening. But Edmonton is an over machine, and Ottawa can play that way as well. 10 straight overs for the Edmonton Oilers. 10 straight. That's because their defense is terrible. And, truthfully, I'm not sure if Edmonton should be in this game. I'm not sure if they can win a game at this point in time. I'm not sure if they can win a game 3-2. Just don't think they can. I think they're going to have to outscore them. It's going to be more of a little bit of a pond hockey game between these clubs. Even though the Senators have played much better defensively, I think Edmonton drags them into a little bit of a wide open affair here. So I've actually already put this out to my clients last night, the Edmonton over. I'm going to watch the line. I might put out something later on Ottawa if everybody starts jumping on Edmonton. But I like Ottawa a bit here, but my play will be on the Edmonton Ottawa over 6.5.
Buster, when I look at this matchup, it's similar to what you were saying there. It's like the Ottawa Senators, the shot suppression, the defense has been a lot better lately, but obviously the Edmonton Oilers are a whole new beast. When you think about automatic bets right now, I was doing a show talking about this. There's two that come to mind. You fade the Rangers when they're playing at home, and you bet the over in every single Oilers game you possibly can. One thing I look at when it comes to this team is it's not just their goaltending, it's their defense too. And realistically, no matter who they play against, we're seeing overs here. I've told you before, one trait that I have a tough time on is just sticking with the keep it simple method. Do you feel like throughout the rest of the season, the Oilers are going to maintain what they're doing right now and continue to be an over team throughout the rest of the year?
Well, I'll tell you right now, Andrew, if they are, they're not making the playoffs. That's for, I think they will struggle if they do. They are capable, and they have been capable of doing this. I'm not sure what happens on Friday at the trade deadline, but they definitely need to do something defensively. There's no doubt about that with the team they have. Can they outscore teams and win and keep winning this way? Yes. So that means there are going to be a lot of overs, but I don't think that's what they want to be doing to try to hang in there for a playoff spot. Now, I firmly believe they will be in the playoffs, but you know what? Again, why do they have to be? I know it's Edmonton, but just like last night, you guys talked about it with Philadelphia. Everybody bet Toronto last night. I stayed away from the game. Why do the Leafs have to win? They can lose 10. They're not a good team. Defensively, they're not that good at all. And it's funny how you mentioned about New York at home, because yesterday I put out Columbus for my clients. It was like minus. I thought it was a really good play because I do like that Columbus club. I think they're, and I'm watching. It's 4-0, so I switch it over to college basketball on my couple TVs because it's 4-0 going in the third period. And I thought, well, I better go just check, make sure everything, no goofy things happened. And I'm like, holy shit, 4 points.
Yeah, it was close.
So I shut it off immediately because my luck in overtime isn't the best. But you know what? Lately, things have turned around for the Buster.
There you go.
I'm winning hockey games, and I'm winning overtime games. And I don't care if the simulation knows this. I'm going to keep winning these overtime games because I've lost so many throughout this.
That's the positivity we need on this show, Buster. That's the positivity the world needs.
Exactly.
But Andrew, question to you, and Buster, you can chime in on this one as well too. So a couple things I want to ask. And Andrew, first of all, the team total for Edmonton at DK is 3.5 minus 105 to the over. The Oilers have had 3 games since the post-Olympic break or whatever, and they've scored at least 4 goals in each of those games, but have lost 2 of those 3 games. This is actually their first game at home, and then Buster, you can chime in on this one. And I'm just wondering the kind of reception the Oilers are going to get, McDavid gets as well too. They love him there, of course, but more so the reception a guy like Brady Tkachuk gets, because him and his brother were chirping McDavid. They were chirping Leon Draisaitl, always a bridesmaid, never a bride. You just wonder if we see maybe not those 2 guys aren't going to fight, but maybe somebody from the Edmonton Oilers sends a message to Brady tonight in the first game at the Rogers Center in Edmonton. What do you think, Andrew? First of all, team total, and then guys chime in on the whole Canada USA thing.
Yeah, well, I saw since the Olympics, as you talk about, Carm, they've scored the most goals and they've given up even more goals. So it's like, monkey see, monkey do. Hey, we can score goals, but we can also get scored on just as easily. So, I mean, I've been saying this for years. If you're betting on the Oilers, you don't even worry about the money line. Like, I don't get why anybody would play the money line at this point with the Edmonton Oilers. Show me the Oilers win, and I'll show you them scoring at least 4 goals for the most part. So I like that. And as far as setting the tone, I do agree. They need to have physicality. This team needs to be intimidating. You know, who was the player? Was it Dave Semenko? That's the player that played with Wayne, right? Yeah. Like, you need to have somebody that can be out there with Connor. Like, if this was the if the Team Canada team was in the NHL, it was such a cool idea for Tom Wilson to play with McDavid. Like, when the World Cup of Hockey comes back in 2028, Wilson's going to be on that team again. And there's going to be fights because it's going to be back with NHL rules. And if you have Wilson with McDavid, it creates a toughness environment. But I think it's important for them to have their physicality. Buster, I'm sure you saw they traded for Connor Murphy from the Chicago Blackhawks. That was a big trade for the Edmonton because he was a stay-at-home defenseman and a guy like that. But what do you think, Buster? How do they set the tone? Because at the end of the day, this Oilers team, you said it yourself, you can't play pond hockey every day.
Buster, anytime you want to chime in.
No, you're right, Andrew. And I'll tell you right now, I am chiming in, but I think the 3 screen always screws it up. That's all. Right? Anyways, I firmly believe that Ottawa, they just out-hit everybody. If you see, they out-hit everybody they play. And I don't think it's Edmonton's game to do that without the guys. I think Chuck would love nothing more, and the Ottawa team would love nothing more for Edmonton to try to mix it up with them. I think that would be probably bad. Right now, the only thing they can do is outscore them. They get into that kind of hockey game. I don't think it works.
I just think that they have to remain physical. They have to, because this Oilers team needs to protect their stars. But you're right. Ottawa's good at that as well. I'm curious what's going to happen. We got one team that's playing good defensively and one team that gives up goals to everybody. So we'll see what kind of game we end up getting. Buster, you got a great deal going right now. Tell us about it, and then get out of here and get ready for the Habs, because you know what? Tonight's going to be a good night for them.
Yeah, I hope you're right, Andrew. That's for sure. Melissa, head office, was good enough to get this deal out for us. It's a package deal with MLB for the full year, and you also get the rest of the NHL right into the Stanley Cup for a great price of $5.99. And we were the #1 MLB expert in profit last year, plus 76.32 units. We just don't do NHL. We do college basketball, but MLB is one of our favorites. I think I've got about 6 parks I'm missing on the whole list of baseball stadiums. So always been a big fan. A little tougher when we're living in Mexico to get to a lot of places, but I caught a couple on the road. But and then in NHL, like I said, had probably my worst January in 40 years. It was just horrific. But we're starting to come back around, looking for a strong end of the season, strong playoffs, like we usually always do have a strong playoffs in the NHL. We are, with those great 5% plays that everybody likes to buy, #1 in the NHL lifetime at the site in 5% NHL plays. And we are on a solid 76% NHL 5% run as we speak. So you want to go to the site, grab that. As Carmine was saying, it is Customer Appreciation Day. All the guys on the sites, all the cappers will have, for the most part, maybe not all, will have $5 plays loaded. So you'll want to check that out. But yeah, you'll want to get that deal. It'll run for a couple weeks, and then but you want to grab it because I'm going to keep winning in the NHL, just like I did last night, 3-0. As Carmine says, positive attitude makes things go.
Positive mindset. It's all we need. All right, Buster, take care. Great package. MLB plus NHL. We're all pumped for an MLB season. I think Carm probably a little more pumped up for the World Cup this summer, but
definitely
we can't
is.
wait.
Yeah.
Buster, take care, brother. We'll see you later.
Okay. Thanks a lot, guys. Thanks for having me.
Later, Buster.
All right, Carm. When it comes to tonight, 11 games, I have a 4% play that's a total, and I have it labeled as my over of the night, my goal fest. But you've got a 5% play tonight. You got a lot of games to choose from. It's a play that stood out to you right away because I know you had this game selected yesterday. You're on a massive run. We've got buy 3 days, you get 3 extra for free. You've got to deal with cup to cup, hockey and soccer. There's a lot of options for people to get your play today. I'm going to go to you with this. I want people to buy your play, but we always say buying one individual play compared to buying a package of at least 3 days, 1 month, or a full season is much better. I wish you all the best, Carm. I think it's a great play. Tell us about your updated deals you have going right now.
Yeah, the promos are running across the site are the buy 3, get 3. So you're getting 6 days of all access for the price of 3, which is a great deal. Obviously, the all-in package where you get a full year of all plays across all sports. And as I mentioned, college football, college football, NFL, NHL, soccer, which is 365 days a year, baseball. There's just NHL, of course. There's just a ton going on. Tennis, the World Cup this year. 100 days. Today marks the 100 days until the first game of the World Cup. Looking forward to it. What I'm not looking forward to is fighting with FIFA, the organization who still haven't paid me, Andrew, in 70 days now since I sold my tickets on the FIFA site. And 70 days, they have not paid me my money. They owe me a few $1,000s. Screw FIFA. Anyways, with that said, let's forget about that part of it. 5% play up for tonight. 4-0 day yesterday, 2-0 in hockey, 2-0 in soccer. So one $5 play up in soccer, which goes at 2:30 today, a Premier League game. One $5 play in NHL tonight. And of course, the 5% play up in the NHL. So take advantage of any of those deals. The cup to cup one is the best one. I think the rest of the NHL through the playoffs, and of course the World Cup, which is all summer long. So I'm looking forward to that. But with that said, we got to bring in Brian Leonard because he is going to talk about the Vegas Golden Knights. And where's Brian? Let's get Brian on the screen there, Andrew. Let's bring the man in.
4 wins against playoff teams. 4 wins against playoff teams, and they're first place in their division. What's going on here? Is the West just an easy conference or what?
They are slowly. Those odds are now 15-1 to miss the playoffs, plus 1,500. If they lose to the Sabres tonight, and then they close it out with one more game on the East Coast before they head home. And the Oilers, the Kraken, who won last night. Hey, I hope you guys took advantage of the play I gave out on the Kraken last night. If those teams and the LA Kings, if some of those teams start to scrape up some points, that plus 1,500 is going to be gone. I know it's hard to believe that the Vegas Golden Knights can miss the playoffs, being in first place in the Pacific. But at the beginning of the year, if I told you the Leafs, the Florida Panthers, the New York Rangers, the New Jersey Devils, the LA Kings all would be out of the playoffs with 20 games to go, you guys would have had me committed. You guys still might have me committed. But anyways, Brian,
so
go ahead.
Yeah, 20 or 5-25 against teams that are in playoff contention. I have major worries about them. They've got a losing record at home, losing record on the road. The good thing is they don't have overtime in the postseason. So if they make the postseason, because they can't win an overtime game to save their lives. But the thing that worries me majorly about them is the coach called them out. The Olympics players called them out. He says, "We give you extra time. You come back and you give us no effort," and then they get shut out. They got major problems. If you take a look, I've talked about this on the season. On 5-on-5, they've just been terrible. If it wasn't for power plays, where they're very good on special teams, this team wouldn't be anywhere near the way they are right now. They've been especially bad to start games. They fall behind constantly. It's been something that's been there all year. And they have struggled against younger teams that have speed. Well, here we go. Buffalo. Buffalo is a team playing great hockey right now. One of the hottest teams in the league. They're a young team. They have a lot of speed. They've got some former Golden Knights on that team. So, and they're also playing against, obviously, Jack Eichel. So I think Buffalo gets up for this matchup much more than Vegas does. And because Vegas has been so bad early on, and the money's come in on Buffalo in this game, I like the first period. I like Buffalo. You can lay 130, 135 right now in the first period of this game. And you get everything that I've talked about, and you also get Vegas in their worst period. It seems like Vegas plays better when they're down by 2 or more goals going into the third period. Then they decide to wake up. I don't want any part of that in this one because I think Buffalo's going to beat them anyway, even though they are the Sabres. I didn't realize they changed their name to the Buffalo Sabres. But that means they're undefeated in their lifetime. Vegas has never beat the Sabres. But anyway, first period, I don't want any part of this Vegas team. I don't care who the goalie is. None of them are playing well right now. The defense is lousy. Give me Buffalo in the first period of this game, and I'll lay that 130, 135.
When it comes to this, Carm, we'll let producer Carm do what he does, messing everything up here, man. Brian, on us.
Whatever.
When it comes to a team like this Knights team right now, Brian, everybody used that expression, catching a fallen knife, right? Like we've all heard that. We've all heard going against the grain and things. What is it? One of those things for Vegas where it's like, hey, they're not getting my money until they prove it. Like I need to see it before I'm willing to jump back on with them because we know how offensively capable they are. And I'll tell you, a free play for me on this game is an old reliable that I've been doing for 2 years now is the first period over after a team was shut out. And they weren't just shut out. They were absolutely dummied for, a 5-0 loss. Yeah. So that sense of urgency should be there. But I told Carmine yesterday, I don't want to go against Buffalo ever again. I mean, this Buffalo team, they're second in the Atlantic Division. It's so hard to believe. So is it more of you got to see it before you believe it for the next time that we're going to find out that you're betting on Vegas?
Yeah, it is. It's just something that I've done for a long time. I'm more of a situational spot handicapper. I don't know the players you guys do. That's just not the way I handicap. It's the way I've handicapped everything else for 45 years. There's been many times this year where if you've got a good hockey team and they've embarrassed themselves, they're going to give a good effort the next day. Vegas has not been that way at all this year. Anytime there's been a great spot, and just like in the last game, they played. The Vegas took money. Everybody thought, well, this is the game that Vegas is coming back. They're playing Pittsburgh without, their real big leader on that team, the veteran. I wanted Pittsburgh, but the line kept going up, and I said, am I missing something here? No, it's this Vegas team is not being able to take advantage of opportunities they normally would have. A good team normally would have. Just a few days ago, they were 99% chance to make the playoffs. Now you can get 15-1 going against them. I think we've lost that ability to get all the value, but I don't want to bet on Vegas right now. They're already the most hated team in the league because Vegas will do anything to sign players at the trade deadline, and it pisses off a lot of the other teams. So they're a team right now that are not playing well, and teams get up to play them. And it's going to be a while till I can bet on the Knights because, and obviously the captain's probably not going to play tonight. He got hurt. He's day to day. They're going to rest him. I can't see how he's going to be in the lineup tonight. But yeah, it's a team right now, and you can take advantage of these kind of teams. And as bad as Vegas has been, they lost a lot of money this year if you've been betting on them, even though they were first place in the division right ahead of Anaheim. And you guys talked about that, and you mentioned Anaheim just a few days ago about having a team with a lot of value. I don't think they'll beat Colorado tonight, but there's a decent chance that they could be in first place over the Knights after the end of this game here.
Yeah, Brian, to the point of, like the LTIR, like in Vegas signing players or Florida signing players, See, I don't see that as well, I don't want to say a bad thing. I don't see that as a breaking the rules thing because you're allowed to do it. All 32 teams are allowed to do it until the NHL changes it. They're using the rule book in their favor.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would, we'll joke around about it. Hey, I wonder who Florida's putting on the LTIR for their Stanley Cup run. But in essence, it's just something to elicit, it's like stirring the pot. It is to get a reaction, kind of like what Andrew's TikTok does, where he goes after the Chuck brothers on TikTok, and I love it. He gets like 50,000 views of his video. It is stuff you do to stir up, but they're well within the rules to do what they do. Today's the trade deadline. What is it, Andrew? 3 p.m. today?
Friday.
Time is
Friday.
Friday
Yeah.
is the trade deadline.
But I think that the patterns are what people are upset about, Carm. Like, I have to pull this up here. Hopefully we can get all of us on the screen. Okay, let's try and go back to this. Here we go. Let's see if we can get us all on the screen here. How many times has Mark Stone been on LTIR in his career? November 2021, February 2022, February 2023, March 2024, October 2025, and I think it's trade deadline season. March 2026 is coming right now. Like, this is what people are upset about. It's the pattern recognition. It's not like he's going on LTIR in October every year. He's going on it, I'm talking days before the trade deadline happens, and then he comes back. Oh my God, I'm healthy again for the first day of the playoffs. And we know he's the captain. He wants to be out there, Brian, but guys, this type of pattern recognition is what people are upset about the most. I mean, look at this. February, March. Like, I don't know. It's hard to argue here.
The November and the other two are not anything to do with it because it's very early in the season. You don't want to lose one of your Olympians early in the season. So those were legit. So the other 3 years, I watch every game. He's been hurt. But all these guys are hurt. You can't play. You watch a hockey game, you go, oh my God, how is this guy going to be able to play tomorrow? He's very fragile in that regard. He's an older guy. I don't think there's a whole lot going on with it. Like Carmine says, everybody can do the same thing. Right now, Vegas has 3 guys on long time on that right now. They can't afford to bring all 3 of them back. They'll go over the limit. So I don't know what they're going to do. This is maybe the 1 year where they can't afford to make that late season trade. Although they did bring in Rasmus earlier, but
Brian, do you think there's an opportunity? Because of the Mark Stone thing or what have you, even if it isn't as serious, and as you mentioned, it's just resting him for a game or two, that they take the approach that they need to bring somebody in. They may not have the cap space for it. So let's put Mark Stone on long-term injury reserve and bring in a player and then take Mark Stone off of long-term injury reserve come playoff time. Because, they're still at the top of the Pacific. At the end of the day, they're still at the top of the Pacific, and maybe bringing someone in. There's plenty of players out there right now that some teams are looking to shop and move. Vancouver obviously being one of them with Pettersson, right?
Well, right now, San Jose Sharks are in 9th in the Western Conference, 62 in 58 games. Vegas is 70 points in 60 games. So if San Jose happens to win their next 2 games in regulation, or regardless, they'll be at 66. They'll only be four points behind Vegas. So I don't think Vegas has that ability to be able to do that. Nashville's at 62 points. The Kings are at 62 points. I don't think the Kings are going to be able to make it. But Nashville's playing really good right now. Vegas could end up out of the playoffs. There's no doubt about it. I don't think the league wants to see that because they've got so many superstars on this team. But I don't know what they're going to do when it comes down to if they're going to do anything at the trade deadline. It's going to be very tough.
All right, Bri, love having you on. We're going to keep you on here just a little longer, if that's okay with you. Andrew, We got to talk Tampa Bay and Minnesota. The Wild playing some pretty good hockey. Tampa Bay playing some pretty good hockey. But Tampa Bay, back-to-back losses, Carolina and the Buffalo Sabres. Two teams that are, in the top three, of course, in the Eastern Conference. Tampa's 135 in Minnesota. Minnesota plus 114. Total sits here at 6.5. I'm going to let you and Brian break this one down.
Well, Brian, I'll just say this. I'm not a huge quotes guy typically because, as I've mentioned before, that I firmly believe that people can twist quotes however they see fit to benefit their opinion, which is why I'm not a huge quotes handicapper. However, yesterday, when Todd McClellan, the Detroit Red Wings coach, or I guess 2 days ago, called out his team, he said, I feel like we have a bunch of players that are just out there wearing jerseys and not playing hockey. I mean, when you say your team, these guys are just out here wearing jerseys. They're not actually playing. They're not doing much. That was a quote that stood out to me. And John Cooper now, the way he's called out his team since the Olympics, not enough, not impressed. This is not a satisfactory effort. Pretty much held a meeting on the ice, not in the locker room, but on the ice after the last game or their last practice. He was out for one game because of the passing of his father. So he missed that game. He comes back the next game. They don't play very well. It does feel to me like a lot of people are going to be on Tampa Bay tonight, but you know what? A lot of people were on Detroit yesterday as well. I have a tough time not agreeing with the money that came in on Tampa Bay. I like the side for them. I like the motivation for them. And quite honestly, we haven't really seen Minnesota struggle too much recently, going back to before the Olympic break. So the way I look at it, this is a rare time where I'm going to try and put my psychology hat on. And I think Tampa may be the more motivated team coming into this game. What do you think?
This is my soundbite that they can use, and hopefully we can get a lot of people to watch us. Tampa Bay is currently, this is about a 140 favorite here on the road to Minnesota. Tampa Bay has not won a road game since all the way back on January 23rd.
Ooh.
Now keep in mind, they've only played 2 road games since that time. One game is a neutral, and then 2 road games because of the schedule. But still, you've got a Tampa Bay team here, and I love Tampa Bay. I think they're the best team in the East. They and Colorado, to me, are the best 2 teams in hockey. But this Minnesota team is a very good team as well, and they're playing at home, and they have not played well as of late. Last couple of games, I believe Minnesota, let's take a look at what we see here. They lost to St. Louis at home in their last game. That was embarrassing. And then they lost at Utah 5-2 before that. So they're coming off of a couple embarrassing losses. This is a statement game, I believe, for Minnesota. This is a game they need to have. We take a look at the schedule. They go on the road. They play Vegas, and then they play Colorado. They get that rematch against the Mammoth. So this is a tough week for Minnesota. This is a game that is going to set them on their ways. And I think Minnesota's got a little bit of value here. I don't want anything to do with Tampa Bay in this price range at this time. But I love this team overall, but I think this is a good spot for Minnesota.
Carm, it's a put up or shut up game here for Tampa. Hard to argue with the numbers behind Brian's reasoning. This is one of those times where I'm putting my money on a coach's quote. Desperation isn't always a good thing. What do you think?
Yeah, listen, at the end of the day, both these teams are going to make the playoffs. Both teams are fine. You're going to go through your ups and downs, your ebbs and flows in an NHL season. Tampa Bay has been playing extremely well before this. You go back to, I think it was December 15th. From December 15th onwards, they had the most points and the best record in the NHL. Now, a couple of losses, obviously, to the Buffalo Sabres, and that sort of flipped the script a little bit because the Sabres are playing well right now. So now it's the Sabres that have it, but Tampa's right up there. They're a top 3 team since the 15th of December. We're going back like almost 3 months. You can call it 2 months because of obviously the break as well too. But this is a team deservedly. I think they deserve to be minus 135 in this spot. They should be favored. I get it. You can look at the Wild as a live dog, sort of like how I looked at the Seattle Kraken yesterday and thinking they're a live dog. But I think there is more upside to this Tampa Bay team. This is a team that I believe at the end of the day is going to find themselves, and this is a Sabres fan saying this, is going to find themselves in the conference finals this season. They are just loaded for bear. A very good team. And as Brian mentioned, not a lot of not a lot of road games for them dating back to like January, but that's where they are now. They're on the road. This is a 5-game road trip. They started off in Carolina where they battled back from down 3, I think down 3-0 or 4-0 in that game before eventually losing that game 5-4. This is a team that can score goals. This is a team that has a solid lineup through and through. They're the better team. So in a spot where the line is not quite a coin flip, but it is as close as you can get to a coin flip, because this should be probably about 125 plus 105, I would think. Tampa Bay, I think, is the right play here.
Carm, I just think that when you look at this game, my main reasoning is that Minnesota, I don't think, has had enough to be worried about recently. So hopefully, but Brian, I thought you were telling a joke there with the 2 road games because I know where you were going there with that.
It was a joke. It's just showing you what anybody could put up on the internet and say,
yeah,
oh, they've only won, they haven't won a road game since January 23rd. Well,
but it's going to be a great game, guys. Every night there's games that I have my picks on and my bets, and there's games that are going to be games that I look forward to watching. And whether or not I get to the window with this one, or whether I liked a game or not here, this is going to be one that I'm going to watch. And that was kind of like the Colorado and Kings game for me last night. It was just a fun game to watch. So we'll see what ends up happening. But 11 games on the board. Looking forward to hopefully a great day. Brian, as mentioned, you and I are both pumped for baseball season. We got a kind of a funny game going today in about an hour's time. Team Canada versus the Blue Jays. So Canada's team against Team Canada. But you got some great packages available right now. Tell us about them.
Yeah, first off, it's $5 Tuesday, so I've got a nice 4% play in the NHL, 9-3 run in the NHL, and also a play in the NBA. I've got a free college play up on the site too. So if you go to you go in and want to check it out, I got a free college play that just quite did not make my final card. But yeah, we're all in a little bit competition on the show, but we all love each other. And of course, I had my baseball and NHL package up there, and it expired 2 days ago. Well, Buster coming on and taking advantage of me no longer having mine on, I had to get in touch with Melissa and get her to extend it. So she was nice enough to do that for me. So I'm battling it out with Buster. He's number 1 all-time on his 5% in the NHL. I'm number 1 all-time in everything NHL when it comes to net profit. Also number 1 in net profit in the history of WagerTalk in Major League Baseball. I don't do much with preseason baseball, but with the tournament coming up, I may end up having some selections. I see some lines that are a little bit off, at least in my opinion, in that regard. So I may have some of those up. But we've extended it for a couple of more weeks here. If you want to get that, you get all of our all of our MLB and all of our NHL in the same package at a discounted price. So whether you choose me or you choose Buster, I'm sure you can't go wrong.
Brian, come on, guys, take advantage of this deal for Brian. Buster's like independently wealthy. The guy's living in Mexico. You know what I mean? He's on the beach every day. He checks in on his avocado farm that he owns down there. Brian's coming. I love it. Brian's coming to Toronto. For 4 days in April during hockey season. So we'll do a couple of videos while Brian is down here, right from Scotiabank Arena, because the Leafs won't be playing, but at least the arena will be empty. So we'll do some videos from there. You're coming for a concert, but you're also coming to watch your Cleveland baseball team, who are here for a road trip in Toronto, and I get to bring out my it's no longer the Guardians, but my Cleveland Indians baseball jersey with Vaughn on the back from Major League. I have that jersey. I get to bring that out and wear it. So I'm super excited about that, Brian. Excited about having you come north of the border. Don't worry, I will leave. I'll leave your picture at the border. You'll have no problem getting in.
Just don't say friend of Prez's, or they won't let me in.
Yes. And Brian, whether you like it or not, I think I'm making the trip too. So I might get
really?
to come have a dinner with you. We'll see. We'll see.
That would be awesome.
I'm hoping to.
That would be awesome.
Yeah. Oh. All right. Best of luck, Brian. Thanks for hanging out and doing the additional game with us. I know you're going to knock it out of the ballpark. Pun intended. Baseball season this year. So best of luck to you guys. Head over to his page, wt.buzz/BL, to take advantage of that deal that Melissa has extended.
Carm, I almost had to throw some rotten tomatoes at you after that one. After that, between the two of you guys with your dad jokes.
All right,
pull out that horn they use for soccer. Yeah. And they use that also, by the way, in this tournament, because I went to a game in Arizona one time in that tournament. And
the Vuvuzela, it's called.
Yeah. If you're not used to hearing that, next time I go, I would recommend everybody to wear earplugs.
Yeah.
Because it's crazy. They have a great time. It's a lot of fun, but that is loud as hell.
Yeah.
Brian, we'll have to do some content for sure. Like Carm said, we'll bring the mics with us a little bit, do a little bit of stuff, and I'll bet you a beer on the result of the game. But I'm sure we're going to have more than just one. That's for sure.
Well, if you're a fan of Toronto and they're playing the Guardians, you got to be a pretty big favorite in this series.
You can give me the true odds. Give me the true odds in beers.
Yeah, Toronto will be about a 170 favorite in every game at least. All right, guys. Good luck to you.
Later, Ryan.
Tonight.
Thanks. Andrew.
Oh, he's back.
He doesn't want to leave. He's like the Prez last week. Andrew, we still have a lot to go. So we got to get fired up here because we have the Avs in Anaheim, same game parlay from you, the pod, and then the closing, of course. So let's get right to it. Colorado and Anaheim. This price, Colorado -148, Anaheim +124 in this one. I'm going to tell you right now, Andrew, I am taking the Anaheim Ducks. I get it. Colorado, I love the players on the team. I love the team. But the Ducks have momentum going. Mo is in the building with the Ducks. They are winning, and I'm getting some plus money on them tonight. Go Ducks. That's all I'm going to say. I want to call them the Mighty Ducks again, but we'll just call them the Ducks for now. If they beat the Avalanche tonight, they're truly the Mighty Ducks. Give me Anaheim, and let's go to you for a more detailed breakdown of this game.
Yeah, it's hard to argue that, Carm. Like, just looking at the way this team is playing. One thing that's worth noting with this Anaheim Ducks team is, despite how good they've looked, they've had to come back in a couple games recently. And you don't want to put yourself in that position too consistently, right? Like, it's one thing to be able to pull that off, but if you're consistently having to come back in games, not much of a good look when it comes to that. Talking about high danger chances created, obviously Anaheim is right up there, but defensively, 22 high danger scoring chances over the last 10 games per game. So I do think the Colorado's going to get their chances. They're going to be able to create offense. This is an over bet for me. You know, unfortunately for the LA Kings, their first game back after their coach fired. It's a tough, as I said to you yesterday, Carm, it's a tough team to play. The Avalanche, your first game back after firing your coach. But I don't see the overtrain slowing down with the Anaheim Ducks. I just see it continuing. The Colorado's going to get their scoring, but Anaheim is going to match what they do. Second half of back-to-back for this Colorado team. Give me the over 6.5 here. I think we see some goals. There's two good goalies out there for Colorado. So that back-to-back angle, it doesn't matter as much. But when it comes down to it, I think we see goals in this game here. And if Anaheim contributes to it, I think Colorado will get theirs as well. So sign me up, Carm. I'm on the over.
You're on the over. Andrew, here's an interesting thing. You look at the Ducks were in Buffalo, and this goes back to looking at the schedule for the Ducks. Back on January the 10th, they were in Buffalo at the end of their road trip, and they lose to the Sabres in that game 5-3. What have they done since that game? 12-2. 12-2 they have gone, and it's not a powder puff schedule. They beat the Colorado Avalanche in Colorado 2-1. They beat in Dallas, back-to-back wins over the Kings. They beat the Seattle Kraken, the Vegas Golden Knights, the Edmonton Oilers, the Winnipeg Jets. It hasn't been, and if I didn't mention it before, the Dallas Stars. There's a lot of wins against quality teams there. So to think that Colorado is just going to lay over them tonight and the Ducks are just going to cough it up, I just don't see that happening. The final score line, it could be that Colorado ends up winning 5-2, but Anaheim is competing right now, and that's why they're fifth in the Western Conference. Let's give them their dues. They are 12-2 their last 14 games, and playing extremely well. So if you can,
the question is, do we care about those comeback wins, right? Like 3 straight come from behind wins. Can they sustain that? Quality
teams come from behind.
Right.
This is the thing, is they don't spit the bit. You know what I mean? If they're down 2-0, it doesn't turn into a 6-1 game in which they lost. And that comes back to the coaching. Joel Quenneville doesn't allow this team to quit. That coaching staff has done a phenomenal job with this Anaheim team. And the best thing you can have is momentum on your side. The best thing you can have is in that dressing room, everyone believes. And when you go 12-2 over the last 14 games, is because the team believes. They're on 69 points. Their total over-under for the year was only 84 points. And they are fast approaching that number. So I'll take the plus money here, going against a very good and tough team who they beat in Colorado. So you would think about the rapid revenge thing, but that win did come prior to the Olympic break. So with that said, go Ducks.
Quack, quack, quack. Give me some goals. Give me the over, and give me
some player props.
Here. So, Carm, I literally just have goal scoring props that I like for today. Think about the goal scoring props that I love. People say, okay, well, there's 21 guys out there. But at the end of the day, the thing that I like about it is that you're going to get plus money consistently with these. Last night, we hit Nathan McInnis at minus 105. We did not hit the Panarin shots on goal prop. But if you guys played those singles, we're still making some money with the player props. But I got to get back on track and hit some for you guys. So as I mentioned, we're going to try and find some for you. I've got a handful here, and you guys can kind of get some hints on certain games that I like for the overs and certain games that I like for the unders. But what I'm talking about, let me pull it up here, Carm. And I'm just going to tell you this. When it comes to these secondary players, sometimes the price isn't good enough. Like, one thing I used to think when it comes to goal scoring props, guys, is that you shouldn't just take the top guys like Cole Caulfield or Nathan McKinnon or whatever. But Carm, we had this discussion years ago with Prez when he said minus 130 wasn't a good price on Austin Matthews to score a goal. If it's minus 130, it's minus 130 for a reason, because he's that good, So I'm starting to take these favorites a lot more. So today I've got Clayton Keller, I've got Jack Eichel, Brandon Hagel, Tim Stützle, and Matt Duchene. Handful of players. I got a graphic, but it messed up because it didn't include one player, which I was trying to fix here. But here it is. Jack Eichel, plus 180. Brandon Hagel, plus 175. Tim Stützle, plus 195. Matt Duchene, plus 250. And Joel Farabee, plus 360. The one that it left off was Clayton Keller at plus 220. That's Clayton Keller, plus 220. So I like these goal scorers. I like the matchups they have. And right now, these guys, the high danger chances for, the shots on goal per game, and the minutes on the ice for these guys are really good. So Farabee plus 360, Duchesne plus 250, Stützle plus 195, Hagel plus 175, and Jack Eichel plus 180. That's my sheet here, Carm. My goal scoring sheet so far. We'll see if it gets updated throughout the day, but so far, these are the guys that I'm rooting on.
All right. Love it. Andy Lang's going to push us off the show pretty soon. So let's get this going with today's pod play. And let me just mark down the time here. All right, Andrew, today's pod, we pushed yesterday. We're going to come back with a win. There's no way that this can end in a push today. I am taking the over 6.5 in the Oilers game tonight. I expect some goals. Oilers are 8-0-2, 8 wins, 8 overs, 2 pushes their last 10 games to the over. And the Sens come in 6-4 to the over their last 10 road games and 3-0-2 their last 5 games. Additionally, the last 6 games in Edmonton have gone over the total with an average of 9 goals scored per game. The Oilers' defensive problems continue, and the team can score. Over 6.5 is your pod play for today.
Let's get some goals, Carm. Let's get some goals. I mean, if the Oilers are playing in a game, I don't care who they're playing. Let's get some goals, and let's watch a high-scoring game. Speaking of goals, 4% best bet. I'm calling it over of the night. My favorite game with goals. Look, we can all bet unders, but who doesn't like an over? And my 4% best bet is my favorite over play of the day. The analytics back it up. The eye test backs it up. And the situation backs it up. Guys, head over to my page. $5 Tuesday. Grab it. Great price. Originally $25. Over bet of the day. It's a good day to test the waters. $5 play. But if you do not want to do that, you guys can take advantage of the great deal we have where you can get 6 days for the price of 3. We've already talked about it. It's a great deal. And, Carm, you and I will both tell people that using this deal is going to help with your 5% play. It's going to help with soccer, with UFC, with college basketball. You use this play, you're not going to just get one. So over play of the night for me, 4% best bet. We cashed our 4% yesterday. Let's do it again here tonight. Carm, 5% big play for you going tonight. Best of luck.
Yep.
I'll be rooting you on. Close things out for us, brother.
Yep. So as I mentioned, 5% play up in the NHL tonight. You can head over to my page, wt.buzz/CB. 4% total in the NHL as well, too. In an afternoon 2:30 Premier League game, 4-0 yesterday. We picked up 14 units of profit yesterday. It's just one day, which is why these longer packages are much better. Handicap someone over or judge someone over a long period because it is a marathon, not a sprint. Guys, we absolutely love you guys tuning in each and every day. Please hit that like button and the subscribe button as well, too. And, of course, one final mention for our man, the Prez, who will hound me if I don't mention. He has a big 4% play up as well, too, that you can get for $5 over at WagerTalk in the NHL. And he's been crushing it as well, too. So, best of luck to everyone who's on this show with their plays tonight. And hopefully you guys who are following along and buying some of these plays cash. We'll see you on Wednesday. Puck time. Guys, thanks for tuning in and best of luck tonight.